Here is what her eyebrows look like before. They are unshaped, unmaintained, so we are going to give them a brow lamination, a tint, and also clean them up. We are going to keep the shape as thick as possible because that's the look that she wants to go for. You want to start off with a very clean face and skin and eyebrows. So no products on the skin and no products on the eyebrows themselves. Second thing, we're going to use micellar water or cleaning water to give it that extra clean touch before we start the lamination process. We will do the lamination first, and then as we're completing it, we will add the tint and shaping. Next, we're going to apply the step 1 solution of the perming or lifting solution, and we are using the Yegi Lash Lift Kit in order to do the brow lamination. We are using a lip wand to apply the first solution, and we are brushing up and away from the face almost at like a 45-degree angle to start kind of shaping the eyebrows. You want the eyebrows to be fully saturated all the way through to the ends and tips and down to the skin. So all the hairs should be covered with the solution if you want to shape them or reshape them during the lamination process. Next, we are going to use a little brow brush, or these are dental floss brushes, and I'll link all those products below, to go ahead and shape the eyebrows in the direction that I talked to before. And it's easier obviously to see the visual, so we're brushing up and away from the face, just like so. Now we are going to use plastic like saran wrap or anything to hold the product in and hold the heat in as it's processing. Now it doesn't matter if it's saran wrap or any other plastic that you have, as long as it's keeping the product in. Now during this process, if the eyebrows shift even tiny bit, that is okay. This is not what's locking it in. This is basically breaking down the bonds or the DNA of the hair shape, our first step of the product, and then with the second step we're gonna lock it in. So it's very important to have all of the eyebrows covered with the product and shape them as much as possible, but they will shift, they will move a little bit if you're putting the plastic in, and that is okay. Now after the eyebrows have processed, which means the product is sitting on there for between 15 to 18 minutes, and that depends on the thickness or the coarseness of the hair of the client. For this client, she had pretty coarse hair, so we're gonna leave it at about 18 minutes to process. Then we're gonna remove the plastic and clean the product off. Now the key thing over here is do not use water. We do want to only use our products with dry cotton balls or dry tissues, dry Q-tips, whatever you're using to remove it, but no water. That's what's gonna get in the way of messing up your perm or your lamination or your lift. Now, once the product is off, we are going to brush and direct the eyebrows to the direction we want them to be at again. And we don't want to brush them straight up. It's not that flattering unless that's the look your client wants. We do want to brush up and away from the center of the face, just like so. Then we're gonna go ahead and apply step 2 of the Lash Lift Kit. And this is going to set pretty much the eyebrows, neutralize that first solution, and set them to the shape that we want them to be at. Again, after we apply the product, we want to use the brow brush and gently lift them to the shape that we want them to be. So we want to brush them again up and away from the face and avoid really pulling on them because now they are pretty fragile. We've used step 1 to break the bonds, and this is the step that's going to lock them in. So don't pull on them, don't mess with them too much, just brush them to the shape and form that you want them to be at. Now we are going to cover the eyebrows again with saran wrap or plastic in order for them to finish processing. And we are going to let them process for about 10 minutes. After it has processed, we are going to again clean the eyebrows with dry cotton rounds and get the product all the way off of the eyebrows. And you can see we are also removing the product, trying to keep the shape as nice as possible. And we can already see really good results with the lamination and how nicely the hairs are sitting. Now we are going to use tinted thread to be able to shape the eyebrows and keep them as even as possible on both sides, flattering her natural eye and face shape. If you guys want more details of how to do this, make sure to comment below and I'll do another video with just the mapping and different styles with the tinted thread. But we are basically giving ourselves a guide in order to apply the tint and remove the extra hairs from the shape that we don't like. So we're creating that arch and that shape, and whatever falls outside of our marked area, that's the part that we can wax, tweeze, get rid of before we apply or after we apply the tint. Now we are using the Permania tint to go ahead and tint her eyebrows, and we're going to keep the tint in between our guides that we created. And we're using a tint brush to make sure we stay in our mapping in order to not get the tint anywhere else. We want to make sure we are going to keep our work as clean as possible so they can see the best results. When applying the tint also, we want to make sure we go back and we reapply to areas that might have felt like they dried out or that the hair might have soaked up the product. We want to make sure that all of the hair is saturated and it is generously applied in the right areas, because unless it is, it's not going to work properly. Once the dye is dry, it's not processing anymore. So that's why it's important to keep it nice and moist and also put enough on in the first place. Next, you can use soft wax or hard wax, whatever you prefer. We are using soft wax in order to clean out all those little baby hairs, the extras that we do not want from her eyebrows. And here it goes. Now make sure if you are waxing the eyebrows, you are pulling against where the hairs are growing from. Now if you've never waxed before, go ahead and thread or tweeze or do whatever you like for the removal process, or skip the removal process. You can just do brow laminations. You don't have to also shape if that is not one of your strong suits. If you are a lash artist and you want to add the brow lamination to your services, don't feel intimidated to add it without the shaping. You just want to communicate and be clear with your customers of what you're providing. Again, also, if you guys want a detailed tutorial on waxing and shaping eyebrows, make sure to comment below and I'll know you guys are interested in that, and we'll cover that as well. Now, as we are finishing up waxing the eyebrows, the timer went off and it is about time to remove the tint. The processing time again is about 15 minutes for a tint to be on, but make sure you're always following manufacturer's instructions. And now we're cleaning the product off. Again, remember, no water. We just want to wipe the tint off clean with dry cotton. Now we are going to use tiny bit of oil in order to remove that wax residue and a little bit of the tint residue. Make sure to not use a lot, just a little bit to get the product off. Now that we are done cleaning the eyebrows, we are going to thread to get all those little baby hairs out to keep the eyebrow area as nice as possible. If you don't know how to thread, you definitely need to practice and learn how to thread separately to apply this, but instead during this time you can tweeze or use any other method that you are used to cleaning the eyebrows. Again, your alternative is to not shape the eyebrows at all and only do the lamination and skip over this part. But it is fun to watch, so I'll let the shaping and the cleaning up here as a visual. Watch and learn what you need, but we will do a little bit more of a detailed video just for the threading, just for the shaping and cutting and all that good stuff. But feel free to trim the client's eyebrows and keep them as clean as possible. I would probably recommend, if you are just new to the eyebrow world, because you mostly do lashes, just do the lamination and maybe the tint and trim the eyebrows with the scissors tiny bit, and then it's kind of a safe zone. It'll be easier to build off of that. Then really master the shaping, then you can add that to your menu and your service. Now here's something fun. If you guys want a written down procedure, a step-by-step of the brow lamination, go ahead and email info@yegibeauty.com with just a request for the brow lamination procedures. And we'll go ahead and send you the whole file, and you can have it as a tool to perform or to have as you're doing your clients or as you're practicing. Now, after we are done shaping them, we are gonna go ahead and use again tiny bit of oil to moisturize and to really lock everything in, finish it off, make them look nice and clean and ready to go. Well, here is her before and after, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you guys have a bunch of questions because some of the parts were not that detailed. So ask below, I'm happy to answer them. Let's help each other grow, and give me any feedback and tips of what you like to do for your clients or at your salon or what else you've seen. I'm always learning with you guys, and I'm always evolving with all the lash artists that I get to hire and work with. So it's really fun way to learn actually. Well, until next time, bye!